America, the land of freedom and dreams, but hidden beneath its glittering facade are dark corners where crime and death lurk. And the story we're about to tell will take you to one of the most chilling cases, a horrifying secret hidden in the shadows.
Totally cooperating, just relax. Not doing anything.
Before committing the murder in 2021, Daniel Prince had a prior conviction for kidnapping. In 1997, Prince was convicted for kidnapping a woman in Michigan. He was sentenced to 13 to 30 years in prison for this crime. After 12 years, the true monster, Prince, was released in 2009. Edna Subtles, a sweet elderly woman, her smile like a shooting star extinguished in the night. On August 27th, she vanished without a trace, leaving no farewell, no clue. Her home suddenly became an invisible battlefield. Did Edna truly disappear mysteriously, or was this a death trap meticulously crafted for her? Every clue was a fragmented puzzle piece, making the detective suspicious. Was Edna kidnapped? Who stole her kind smile? The truth is about to be unveiled. Join us on this journey to uncover the horrifying truth. The detectives arrived at Edna Subtles' home hoping to find some trace of her disappearance. The house was eerily empty and cold, shrouded in an invisible terror. Inside, there were no signs of a kidnapping, no signs of forced entry. The house was intact, but Edna was gone in an unsettling manner. The detectives discovered that Edna's jewelry was missing, and some of her medication was gone too. The only clue was Edna's Jeep found in the parking lot of a hotel not far from her home. Why was Edna there, and why did she leave her car behind? Edna's family was deeply concerned, especially her son, Marshall. He couldn't believe his mother would disappear so mysteriously.
Greenville County 911, what's your emergency? A sitter was supposed to show up to see with my mom today. Her name is Edna Subtles, and she didn't show up. This is not like her. She shows up like clockwork, so something's wrong.
He, along with other loved ones, has been searching for Edna with the police. The police started tracing Edna's car with security footage, and they found a crucial clue. They noticed that the strange man seen with Edna at the Food Lion was driving her car. Was he involved in Edna's disappearance?
That's not you on the 27th Food Lion parking lot, Traveler's Rest?
I don't think so.
Look, man. Where's Edna?
I don't know where Edna is.
Yes, you do.
It's not making sense. So you're the last person to be in a vehicle you wiped out of a lady that's missing.
That sounds really f***ed up.
When the police interrogated Prince, he claimed to know nothing about Edna's disappearance. He said that Edna was worried about a private investigator she hired and wanted to meet him. Prince seemed calm, but his eyes were emotionless, as if hiding a dark secret.
What you're telling us is that's not you on the 27th Food Lion parking lot, Traveler's Rest?
I don't think so.
That's not you.
That's me. Where's that?
Food Lion, August 27th, 2021, 9:23,
Okay.
32 seconds. Ringing a bell?
Yep. Yeah, I went down to Food Lion.
Yeah. So what were you doing down there that day?
Data from the first surveillance camera, recorded at 9:30 a.m., shows Edna leaving her home and driving to a nearby Food Lion store. She was then seen with an elderly man who got into her vehicle. 4 hours later at 1:43 p.m., the camera captured Edna's car leaving her home again. But this time the driver was not Edna. It was the same elderly man she had picked up earlier. The camera at the Food Lion store recorded the man transferring something from Edna's vehicle to his own. After a detailed frame-by-frame analysis, the police discovered that the item being moved was actually Edna's body, as indicated by her distinctive blonde hair. The man then drove Edna's car to the hotel parking lot, wiped down the door and interior to remove any evidence, and left. The analysis of the CCTV footage helped police identify the suspect, as well as trace the car and the mysterious disappearance of Edna. The interrogation with Daniel Prince began with detectives using a calm and friendly approach, a common technique to put suspects at ease. Prince initially claimed he worked as a handyman and had been involved in home repairs, avoiding any mention of Edna.
What do you do now?
I do a lot of home remodeling, home repairs.
Trying to establish a
sell it. I got a customer base that has me doing stuff.
Okay, so why Boston, North Carolina, come all the way down from, say, Michigan or Wisconsin?
Okay, here, this is real easy. I'm originally from the east side of the state of Michigan,
Okay.
but I was in prison in Michigan for a while, and when I paroled to the west side of the state.
Okay.
When asked about his previous criminal record, he admitted to having served time for kidnapping, but downplayed the severity of the crime, suggesting he had been doing some bad stuff, but didn't provide further details.
What'd you get locked up for? Because you said you got paroled.
I was locked up for a kidnapping charge.
Okay.
And I did 13 and a half years for that.
Oh, wow.
I did 1.5 years for a false statement on a vehicle title. You know, when they're not sure if they're going to make something, they want something to hold you with. So the false statement, that's all that was. The kidnapping, I was doing some bad shit that I shouldn't have been doing.
Fair enough.
But I shouldn't have gotten kidnapping. But I was doing some bad shit.
What kind of shit? What shit have you gotten?
I really don't want to say.
We're just bullshitting. We're just bullshitting.
Nothing when you're talking to two police detectives in a room. It's just bullshit. Okay, I've been through the system enough to know that. Yeah. All I'm going to say about that is I did my time. I made my first
Fair
parole,
enough.
and I haven't been in trouble since.
Hey, and that's great to know. You know, a lot of people, especially being what you've been through, they come out and they go right back to it.
As the questioning continued, detectives began to press him about his whereabouts on August 27th, the day Edna disappeared. Prince grew evasive, saying he had been in various places, including Charlotte and South Carolina, but could not specifically recall what he was doing.
I'll talk to you about August 27th, 2021 of this year.
What day of the week was that?
Oh, it was a Friday.
Okay.
Okay, so specifically the 27th.
Mm-hmm.
What, 2 weeks ago? Do you remember where you were at?
Not specifically.
Where do you think you were at?
I've been going all over the place. I've been back and forth to Charlotte. I've been down to South Carolina.
Like, where's your jobs in South Carolina taking you?
Actually, I was down to Traveler's Rest, but I don't know if it was Friday or Thursday. I know I'd been there earlier that week.
But you don't remember which day specifically?
No, it was either Thursday or Friday.
He eventually admitted to being in Traveler's Rest on that day and meeting with Edna, but claimed she had picked him up to help her with a matter involving a private investigator.
What kind of job were you working on?
I wasn't.
You wasn't?
I wasn't. This lady had talked to me several times. I'd been down to her house 2 or 3 times. We kind of got to be friends. This woman has so many damn problems, mostly her daughter. She would call me and have me come down there.
Okay.
She said she needed to have money at one point in time to help her daughter because her daughter was in jail. Then she needed money another time because she was hiring a private investigator. Because her son-in-law she talked to me all kinds of stuff about it. We got to be pretty good friends about stuff like that.
How'd you meet her initially?
Years ago.
Okay.
Years ago, it was somebody giving me her name or number or her my name. And
When confronted with the CCTV footage showing him with Edna's car, Prince attempted to explain it away by saying Edna had asked him to drive her vehicle and that he was only trying to help.
What you're telling us is that's not you on the 27th? Food Line parking lot, Traveler's Rest?
I don't think so.
That's not you.
That's me. Where's that?
Food Line, August 27th, 2021, 9:23,
Okay.
32 seconds. Ringing a bell?
Yep. Yeah, I went down to Food Alliance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what were you doing down there that day?
She wanted me to look at some stuff at her house.
Okay.
And she picked me up at Food Lion because she wanted me with her when she was gonna go meet some guy for private investigator.
Okay. Yeah. Tell us about that.
She wanted me to meet her down there.
Okay.
She was nervous because she says, I'm not sure I trust this guy. And she knows I've been in the military. And she says, will you meet me? She wanted me to see if this guy was going to meet her where he was supposed to meet her.
Do you know where?
There was a hotel lobby that he had finally said, meet me at the hotel.
Okay.
She says, drive up there and see if he's there. And I drove up there, and things are starting to sound really squirrely to me.
However, As detectives presented more damning evidence, including footage of him wiping down Edna's car and transferring something into his own vehicle, Prince became visibly uncomfortable.
What were you driving?
I was driving a blue car.
Your wife's car or your car?
My wife's car.
So that's y'all coming down 25, you and her together?
It could be.
Okay, because that's her car. That's about 13:45 on the 27th.
Okay.
So you're with her there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not saying yeah. I'm just saying that could be her.
Yeah, it's a different angle. I mean, we've watched this car, right?
Okay.
Here's y'all in the hotel parking lot.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh look, there's y'all backing in.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of different copies of it. Backing in.
Yeah.
Oh look, you get out. Nobody else gets out.
I told you that.
You're walking around the car.
Yeah.
You wipe the entire car down.
Because I was worried.
You were worried. There's you walking across the parking lot in front of Little Caesars.
Mm-hmm.
And there's you getting back into your car and driving away.
Oh, she's with me.
Look, man, you are a good dude. I honestly do believe that you screwed up years and years ago.
Despite the overwhelming evidence, including his proximity to Edna's last known movements and his suspicious actions on the day of her disappearance,
You're not a bad guy, right? Nobody is saying that you're some evil, twisted dude,
Mm-hmm.
okay? We need to know where it is. We've processed the car. We found the dirt. Where did you go off-road? Where did you leave?
Oh, I can tell you exactly where she and I had gone off-road.
Please.
When we were going from 25 south, there was, off to the right, there was a truck with a trailer and another vehicle there that had a for sale sign on it. And it looked like an older truck. And I needed a work truck. And I went ahead and I pulled in and with her. And then we pulled out. And it was right there on 25.
Prince continued to deny any involvement in her disappearance.
Where's right now? Her family is desperately looking for her.
She's missing right now.
Yes, Dan, where is Edna?
I don't have a clue. I dropped her off at her house.
Dan, please listen. You did not drop her off at her house. We have followed that car the entire day up and down 25.
Mm-hmm.
There's a number of minutes that are unaccounted for that are not by her house.
Which car? Mine or hers?
Dan, stop playing games. You know what we're
When I
talking
got,
about.
okay, I can help you here.
Okay.
You gotta give me a second. You gotta let me answer the questions when they're asked. When I dropped her vehicle off looking for the guy, she said she wanted me to take her and drive around in my vehicle. So I left her vehicle. I went down to Food Lion and she was in my vehicle with me. And I dropped her off at home.
Dan, we watched the video. She is not.
The car sits there.
It sits there, man.
No, not in her car.
Never.
My car.
We
I
watched you
dropped
go
her
back
off
to
in
Food
my car.
Lion. You did not drop anyone off, man.
I picked her back up. She sat in my car at Food Lion and I went back and got her.
No, you did not.
Daniel Prince attempted to mislead the detectives by suggesting that Edna might have been in danger somewhere else. He hinted that someone else, particularly a private investigator she was supposedly meeting, might have posed a threat to her. This was a clear attempt to deflect suspicion away from himself and cast doubt on another individual. However, the detectives were already well prepared and had evidence that directly contradicted Prince's story, including surveillance footage.
I don't know where Edna is.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Dan.
Let's go back to why you wiped the car down. What you said you were worried about what?
The only thing I did was because I knew I'd been in and out of her car all the time with her. I'm like, there is no way in hell I'm going to just leave this thing here because she's got somebody that's after her.
Who would be after her?
Who's after her?
That guy with the truck, she said she didn't trust him.
The PI?
Yeah, that's all she hired as a PI.
His story's totally different. He's been doing work for her. I mean, on the son-in-law thing. We've interviewed. He had he didn't meet the first day. So that's
Right, that's why I said she hired another PI. I'm sure you're recording this.
It's not making sense. You're the last person to be in a vehicle you wiped out of a lady that's missing.
That sounds really fun.
It does. That's why we're here.
I've been real honest with you guys. I told you what was going on.
However, the detectives' relentless questioning and the mounting evidence would soon lead to a chilling confession. When the police searched Prince's house, they discovered a horrifying truth. Prince possessed multiple firearms despite being prohibited from owning firearms after his parole for kidnapping. The mud on Prince's tires matched the mud found on a remote off-road path, far from the hotel where Edna's car was abandoned. Could Prince have driven Edna into the woods after killing her? Daniel Prince was taken into custody. He was the #1 suspect in Edna's disappearance. But his story didn't end there. Was Prince truly a killer or just a suspect? Where would the story go? Another crucial piece of evidence was the yogurt cup that Prince had purchased shortly before Edna disappeared. The yogurt contained a mixture of strong drugs such as lorazepam, tramadol, and cyclobenzaprine, which can cause central nervous system depression, impairing the victim's neurological functions. This proved that Prince had used these substances to poison and subdue Edna before carrying out his crime. Faced with irrefutable evidence, Daniel Prince ultimately confessed to the murder of Edna Subtles and admitted responsibility for other killings as well. Dolores Sears, the first victim connected to Daniel Prince, was Dolores Sears, an elderly woman whom Prince was paid to assist in what he described as a mercy act at the request of her daughter, Nancy Rigo. Dolores was euthanized as requested by her daughter, likely due to health reasons or other concerns. However, after the incident, Nancy began feeling guilty about her mother's passing and considered reporting the situation to the authorities. This led Nancy to become Prince's next victim. Nancy Rigo. After Dolores Sears' passing, Prince realized that Nancy intended to disclose what had happened to her mother. Fearing exposure, Prince decided to take action against Nancy to prevent her from going to the police. Following this event, Prince assumed Nancy's identity for several years, even sending emails and messages to her family to maintain the illusion that she was still alive. During this time, he continued to receive her Social Security benefits by utilizing the power of attorney Nancy had granted him before her passing. Lee Goodman, the third case. Prince admitted to involved a woman named Lee Goodman. According to his account, Lee attempted to rob him, which led Prince to act in self-defense. However, the details surrounding this event remain unclear, and the true motivations could be more complex. After Lee's death, Prince handled her remains similarly to the other cases, concealing them in a remote location. These incidents demonstrate that Daniel Prince was not only calculated, but also capable of exploiting his victims for personal gain.
There was quite a lot of stuff found in your B house. There could be a million explanations for some of that stuff, and I don't want to jump to conclusions. And if there's something that happened that you didn't intend to happen, let's talk about it.
There are things that have to happen, and there are things that are going to happen. And I'm a realist, and I have acceptance with this. I would like a little bit of control in how they happen.
Okay, let's put it this way. A person I was very good friends with wanted to do something to put someone basically out of their misery that was very closely related to them. That's one body. That person started having an extreme amount of guilt over this and decided they were going to go tell what had happened. That's the second body. There's a third body that I did not kill, and I knew that they'd be getting Social Security disability for the rest of their life. So I got rid of said bodies, for example, so that I could continue to use the card.
By any chance, while he's getting all this squared away, can you just help me get that closure for Edna's family?
Not until I have this. I clam up like a clam if this doesn't go federal for everything.